Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 14, episode 22, overall 737 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by your friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph, Arma. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. Good evening, everybody, on this Monday, July 20th, 2026, and I am looking forward to our guest tonight, and I'm going to bring her on shortly, but I had a really busy weekend covering a flea market type market on Friday night in Paris, Ontario, and then Sunday I was at the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada, thanks to Grace, and I did some media content there as well, and also was covering a local baseball game last night for the Hamilton Cardinals. So please make sure you check out all my social media pages for my interviews and all my content as well. And I will be back at the Toronto Argonauts training, or not training camp, but their Argonauts practice tomorrow at the University of Guelph to interview some more coaches and some players as well. Yes, I do get some sleep occasionally, but when you love what you're doing, it's not really work. And I just want to say thank you to the Hamilton Cardinals and their owner, Eric, for their my media opportunity yesterday as well. I hope everyone is doing well. I can't believe July is flying by. Monday, July 20th, 2026. And my guest that's on tonight, this is her second appearance, but her first appearance was back in November 12th, 2024. So it's been over a year and a half since my guest, Arma Benoit, a stand-up comedian, a producer, a director, a filmmaker out of Atlanta, Georgia, has been on my show. And we're going to bring on Arma Benoit right now after this applause.
Hi.
Hello. It's been a while. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Keeping busy and just getting
Sounds
media
like
opportunities all the time. And I love what I'm doing. So it's just so great to be able to reconnect with you. And it's been a while, a year and a half. I swear, as soon as you hit 50 or my age, somebody's got a remote control and they hit the fast forward button. It just seems like every day is like fast forward.
Yes. I'm 55, so I understand
No
exactly
way.
what you're saying.
No.
Yeah.
I would say 25 looking at you, 25.
Look, this is 25 if I've been in and out of rehab a few times, Chris.
Well, age is just a number, by the way. It's just a number.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
But how are you doing, and how are things on your part of the world in Atlanta, Georgia, correct?
Yes. Busy. No, I don't think I've been as busy as you, though. Listening to you rattle off just the things you did this weekend sounds like what most people do in a month. But yes, I've been busy. June is typically a slow month for comedy, and I had a little surgery that I had done to my sinuses. So I've been kind of out of commission, and so I'm hitting the ground running back now, and just staying busy with bookings and trying to enjoy the summer while it lasts. Last summer I produced a BuzzBalls commercial with Little Dicky and Gata. I don't know if you know the show Dave, with the comedic rapper Little Dicky, but he was the star of the commercial. And so I was out in LA, and I feel like summer came and went and I was working the whole time. And so this summer I'm determined to at least enjoy it a little bit.
Can you tell us a little more about Little Dicky?
Yeah, he's a rapper. People that know him know him. He has a TV show called Dave, and it's based loosely on his life. And he has a sidekick named Gata, like Gator, because he's from Florida, but Gata. And so we did this Buzzballs commercial, and it was like a fake 1980s aerobics, and he was like an aerobics instructor, and Gata was one of them. And then we had a bunch of like actors that were like the backup, aerobics people, and Gata was one of the backup aerobics people, and it was really fun and just silly. And so every single prop was custom made. We custom made all the wardrobe and custom made all the props to look and include actual buzz balls. So we had like hand weights, but they were like the little buzz balls. You know what buzz balls are? Those little drinks, and they come in these like circular containers.
I'm sure if I was at a bar and I saw one, I probably would know.
Yeah, at the liquor stores, they're like an actual shape like a ball, and they're all different colors. And this one was to release their new grape color, so everything was this purple. And but so we had like little hand weights that had the buzz balls on them, and then they have these things called the big balls that are giant buzz balls, and we had like huge weights with those on them, and then we had a kettlebell made that was one of those buzz balls. So it would be like lift and sip, lift and sip, and like that was kind of the gag. You can watch the video on YouTube. It's cute. The commercial turned out cute.
Now I have a craving for a drink.
I know, right? Me too.
What was that experience out in Los Angeles? And were you able to do some stand-up comedy out in LA on the West Coast when you were there?
I was able to do some comedy out there, and that was really exciting and fun. I was really glad that I got to go up at this place called Lyric Hyperion. These girls have this show called Download Comedy, which then got picked up by Netflix as a joke, and now they do it at the Improv in Hollywood. But this was before then, and Kate, one of the girls that's part of Download Comedy, she has another mic, and so I had met her, and she said, "Come on through." So the night that we finished shooting, so we filmed, 12-hour day, as you can imagine, it was like a long day, and I still said, "Well, okay, it's my last night in LA." So I went home, took a shower, went back to the hotel, took a shower, got dressed, and and got up on stage. So that was really cool. And I have worked in Los Angeles before. As a producer, but it had been a while, and it was fun. We were in a stage, so we didn't shoot anything on location. I did have a sort of surreal experience where, like, he's pretty famous, so we went to his home for their wardrobe fitting. Like, we had a wardrobe fitting at Quixote Studios, which is where like you have your pre-production meeting and your wardrobe fittings and stuff for all the regular people. But then for his wardrobe fitting and for Gata's, we went to his home in Venice Beach, which isn't even his regular home. I think he lives in Encino, like his real home, but he has a vacation home in Venice Beach. So we were there doing his wardrobe fitting and trying to decide on the different outfits and stuff. And my son is back home taking his driving test. And so I had him on speakerphone at one point, and he was saying, "Okay, I'm going to go take the test now," like his driving test, to see if he gets his driver's license. And then he called me back and he passed, and they grabbed the phone from me and they were like, "Way to go. Congratulations. That's what's up." And so I said, "Hey, you'll be able to carry that with you for the rest of your life, that when you got your driver's license, you got congratulated by little Dickie and Gata." It was just a funny thing. You're not often cool as a mom, but that one earned me a couple cool points at least.
Tell your son congratulations. I remember when I first got my driver's license back in 1988. It was a big deal back then.
Nice. That's the year I graduated from high school, is 1988.
Man, where does the time go?
I have no idea. But hey, we're still doing it. We're still out here chasing our dreams, and that's good for us.
Absolutely. And I've actually interviewed people that are older than us that have switched careers too. So it's really amazing nowadays what people are doing. I gotta ask you this, Arma. When you did comedy in LA on the West Coast, did you find the audience was a little different than the East Coast audience for humor?
I mean, Atlanta has a notoriously tough audience. Like, it's been a great place to start because they have notoriously tough audiences. The African-American rooms, especially, they will not laugh courteously. Like in some of the white rooms, they will laugh out of courtesy if somebody's bombing. Like, they give these like polite chuckles. you don't get that in Atlanta. There's no polite laughter. If you're not funny, they will boo you off the stage. But it makes you good at what you do. So I felt like they were probably, if anything, they were kinder um, as as an audience. And oh, in a small world, I was doing a show at this place called Social Space here in Atlanta, and a guy came up to me, and because I wear these cat ears, people remember me, and one of the reasons I continue to wear them. And this guy said, "Wait, this is going to be a crazy question, but were you in Los Angeles last August? And did you perform at Lyric Hyperion?" And I was like, "Holy cow! Yes, I did. I absolutely did." I can't believe that. It was so weird. He was in Atlanta visiting a friend, and I was at a comedy show, and they happened to just walk by and see that there was a comedy show. And then he saw me, and he was like, "I gotta ask." And he was like, "You're gonna think I'm crazy." And I was like, "I think it's crazy that it's true. That yes, I do." That was me. So that was wild. Somebody recognized me on the East Coast from seeing me on the West Coast. So that was a fun moment.
It really is a small world, isn't it? It
So
really
small, like such a small world.
Besides, I used to be 5'9", now I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
This is what happens when you turn 50.
You know, seriously, it better not start happening to me. I'm gonna be mad. I'm already 5'5". I need
Are
to.
you?
Yeah,
So you're
I
ahead
need
of
to
me.
know.
You're ahead of me.
You know, well, I don't want to know. You know, my mom was 5'7", and she's definitely not 5'7" anymore.
Nope. So, hey, I want to ask you this too, and I don't think I asked this the last time. As a stand-up comedian, how important is to find the right outfits, the wardrobes to be on stage, and how important it is to be comfortable? You want to look good, but also you want to be comfortable too on
I
stage.
think I think being comfortable is the only thing that matters. I don't think that how you look has any bearing on it. And in fact, if you know, like I started incorporating at the suggestion of some smart comics that I know, I started incorporating a sort of explanation for how I dress, because I dress kind of extra funky and I wear these cat ears. And they said just because they felt like they wanted an explanation, like, why do you wear those? And if I don't address it, then it, you know, distracts. Um, so sometimes what you wear can distract if you're not careful, unless you make a bit about it or you talk about it, you know. So my joke now is that this is what a midlife crisis looks like if you don't have Corvette money. So uh, that's my joke about why I dress like this. But, you know, also, you know, it's a kind of to go against the whole dress your age trope, and I don't like that. And it's like, why does a 12-year-old girl get to dress with cool stuff and I'm supposed to dress like a golden girl now? Like, why is that?
I still dress like I'm in the 80s and 90s.
As you should, if that's what you like. You know what I mean?
I,
As do a lot of Gen Z. They love
I
that style of the 80s and
yeah.
90s. That's huge. The
Now
resurgence.
you mentioned this a few minutes ago. Atlanta's tough market, and I actually was surprised. I always thought New York, Philadelphia, Chicago would be a tough market. What makes Atlanta so tough as a stand-up comedian?
I mean, I think just because they don't give you anything, the audiences just don't give you anything at all. They're not there to be kind for some reason. It's like they are there with their arms crossed going, "Prove it to me." You know, I don't know what makes them like that. That just is how the audiences are. And for me, I appreciate it because then you get funnier, you know, and also, you know, that when you crush, you crushed. Nobody gave you anything. You know what I mean? It also means there's, you know, especially in like your early days, you have some heartbreaking nights. As Daniel Delano, the comic, says, where you drive home with no music. but um, but yeah, I mean, they just they just don't give you. They're not there just to be kind. And like I said, I'm so used to that now. When I go to places where they're extra nice, you know, like if I go play at Zany's in Nashville and the audiences are just so generous, it's really fun. You feel like a rock star.
What makes Zany so great to perform at? And for all our audience that's watching this on live stream and audio, and there's somebody out there that's looking to get into the comedy industry, what advice would you give to them from your experiences?
Well, what makes Zanies so special is that it's so historic. Like it's kind of the cool club. Like Zanies is an historically excellent club. That's where all the big comics play. So getting to be on the same stage that they play on is huge, you know. So it's just a thrill to get to perform there every single time. So that's, you know, that's just like a big, that was like a big deal in my comedy career, getting booked at Zanies and getting my first like actual check of money to perform there was like a huge deal. I wasn't there like on an open mic night. I wasn't there, you know, as a friend or a special guest. I was there as a booked comic that was getting paid, and it was a big deal. And my advice would be is to stay at open mics, like stay out. You have to be doing this. It's a momentum game, and you got to be out like 5 or 6 nights a week to really make it work. Now, once you get a little more experience, you maybe can cut back a little bit. But if you really want to get it ahead, everybody I know, they're out 5, 6 nights a week. I can't maintain that because I've got kids and a family, but I'm still out 4 or 5 nights a week, or at the very least 3 or 4 nights a week. You know, like this week, let's see, I'm looking up at my calendar and I'll be out 1, 2, 3, 4 nights this week. And then 5 if you include us, you know, but, you know, I'll be out 4 nights a week. So you can't, it's kind of like you can't go to the gym once a month and think that you're going to get a result. You got to go to the gym every day. And it's the same with doing open mics and actually getting on a stage. You have to do it every day. And that's the only way that you get better, and write every day.
It's sort of like media work like I'm doing. There's some people that only want to do 1 podcast a month. Well, if you want to get into radio or media, you're not going to really do it by doing a show once a month. I'm not saying do 5, 6 shows a week like I do, but I find the more shows I do, the more reps I get, the more confident I get, and my skills get better. Not that I'm getting complacent, but if you do something on a regular basis, it will help you in terms of your confidence and your skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. You will get better.
Hopefully that's my goal, to get better. I think I'm better now than even a year and a half ago when you came on your show. So always stay humble, hungry, and always continue to learn and improve. And I'm not afraid to take a little feedback either.
Oh yeah, you can't be. I mean, well, as a comedian, you definitely can't be. Afraid of feedback.
Now, Arma, I saw your Facebook page today, and I saw something on your page about drunk, high, sober. Can you explain to our audience about your comedy show with this theme in it?
Yes. And then I can maybe share some exciting news about it too.
Yes.
So we started the show. In fact, last July was our first show in Athens. Some friends of mine called me and they said, "Hey, can you come up with a show in 2 weeks?" Which is crazy. We have an opening that we were supposed to have this comedy show, and the guy that was running it copped out and fell out and blah, blah, blah. Can you put together a show in 2 weeks? And so I said, yes. So we started doing this show. Last night was our 1-year anniversary there in Athens, and we played to a sellout crowd. We sell out every month there. We sell about 70 tickets and pack out this little place called the Globe in Athens. So what it is Drunk, High, Sober is, and we have a sponsor, and it's been great. There are 6 comics, 2 are drunk, 2 are high, and 2 are sober. And the audience has to guess who is which. And it's funny because very often they'll guess that one of the sober comics is drunk or one of the drunk comics is sober. And it's very funny when they get it like completely wrong. And like there's this comic named Angel Clade, and she's very deadpan, and she doesn't drink or take drugs of any sort. So she's sober all the time. And every single person in the audience, 100% of the audience voted that she was high, which was so funny. And she doesn't take drugs at all. She just gives that kind of vibe. But anyway, so you get to guess who's who, and then the audience also picks a winner, and the winner wins $100. And then we also have an audience giveaway, so the audience wins something. And so 2 months ago, we in June, or last month, in fact, because we just did July, our second one, we brought it to Atlanta. And the first one There were some people there, but nobody knew about it really. And then, much to my delight, on Thursday we had our second one in Atlanta, and it was a sellout. So I was really happy. And at one point in May, Athens Comedy Fest, which is this big comedy festival, asked us to do a special edition of Drunk High Sober using comics from the festival. And that was a more than sellout affair. We had to turn people away. We had over capacity for that show. And it was also just a big deal to be able to be able to be a part of Athens Comedy Fest. And so the exciting news is that Lookout Comedy Festival is a big festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And they've asked me to bring the show up in October for a special edition of the Lookout Comedy Festival, Drunk High Sober, where we'll have competitors from the festival compete in the show. So that's exciting. So I'm hoping to keep branching out like that and go further and further with it.
Maybe eventually at some point bring it to Canada too.
I would love that. Yes. If you've got any venues that I can talk to, let me know. Anybody listening, a good place that we could put it on. I would love to. That would be super fun. It's a very fun show. And we provide rides, just for everyone listening. We provide rides for the inebriated comics. So no one's driving.
It's safe. It's safe. And that's the main thing.
Yeah. Safe and fun.
That is so awesome. And were you one of the 6 comedians in this?
No, this is a show that I produce,
Okay.
and I host it. So I host the show. So it's not fair for me to be the producer and then be a competitor, because I'm the one that's counting the votes. So, but I do host the show. So I do comedy at the beginning and then all throughout, because I'm going up in between each of the comics and introducing the next one and all that. So my joke on most of the shows is that welcome to Drunk High Sober, where I'm 2 of the 3.
So hopefully
even if I'm not.
Well, hopefully this continues to grow and expand.
Thanks. I hope so too. I'm really, it's been so much fun so far. So yes, I think it would be a good show to franchise, frankly.
Without getting into politics, with all the doom and gloom out there, I think we need more comedians these days and more humor right now to help us cope.
Absolutely. And we get a very diverse crowd in Athens and in Atlanta. And I think that's because a lot of people have that same sentiment, Chris, is that it's time to have, let's just enjoy ourselves. And I don't need to know what you think about anything. Let's just sit next to each other and laugh.
And that's why I do this show, because every guest that comes on here has a unique career, a unique story, and it's just good storytelling. And that's what you're doing as a director, producer, filmmaker, as a stand-up comedian, is your storytelling to the audience.
Yes.
And by the way,
yes.
comedy's a lot cheaper than seeing a shrink.
Yes. Well, and I see one, so I do shrink and comedy. But yes, you will often hear people say that it's therapeutic, because you can turn your pain into jokes.
Armia, do you find that comedy has really taken off in the state of Georgia, even in the last couple of years since you've been on my show?
Absolutely. And in fact, a lot of people that I've seen on the scene here, I've watched 4 people that I know go on Jimmy Fallon. So that's huge. And then I don't know if you saw the Netflix Funny AF that they just did, where it was the top 10 comics. And one of those was a friend of mine who's actually my neighbor, Daniel Delano. And he is a hilarious comic, and that blew him up. So now he's going to end up moving to New York. But yes, it's definitely become a serious comedy city, where people are actually looking at the comics here as, real comics. So that's been exciting.
Who have been some of your favorite comedians you've worked with lately? And do you feel the comedy industry overall is becoming more diverse?
I don't think it is becoming more diverse. I wish it was. I am so spoiled because I live in Atlanta, and Atlanta is very diverse. And when I went to LA, I was shocked at how it was not diverse at all.
Wow.
At all. I was shocked at the lack of diversity on the shows. It was crazy. Now, Kate's show was diverse, but that's because she's specifically makes it that way. Like she has to work really, really hard to keep it very diverse. And she does a great job. But everywhere else I went and the other shows, I was like, wow, this is wild. And just in general out there, it wasn't a diverse city. And I was really shocked. I don't know what I was thinking. But Atlanta is so diverse, and I take that for granted. But even saying that, the majority of the shows are all white guys and one Black person and one female. It's very rarely all female and one guy, or all Black and one white person. It's almost always all white people and one Black person, which is crazy because it's Atlanta, and I could list 100 African American comics. Like every show should have majority. But it's not like that. Now, the shows that I do are extremely diverse, but again, I make it very, very purposeful to make sure that there's multiple women, on my show. There's multiple ethnicities. There's multiple, like that we have trans comics represented and queer comics represented, and just everybody is represented, because it feels like you have to do it purposefully or it's just not going to happen. And in Atlanta, there's a lot of shows and people that are also working with that same purpose. And so that's lovely. But I think in general, comedy, no, I don't think it is. I'm hoping that as we shift away from boomers and more towards Gen Z, that it will, because that seems to be a priority for them. So that would be lovely if we could actually take that good thing from that generation and turn it into something. And some of the favorite comedians that I've worked with, Daniel, I just got to work with Daniel Delano, and he is hilarious. And then I did a fundraiser. I produced and hosted a fundraiser for ARC, which is a abortion rights group, and it's access reproductive care, and they help women access reproductive care that have a hard time accessing it, whether they're in a place where they can't get to it or whether they can't afford it or whatever. And every single comic on there, Gabby Watts, Tamar Rubin, Shelley Gruenberg, and Daniel Delano, it's literally like just the top tier in Atlanta. And so that was like super exciting to be on the show with those people. Made me feel like a very cool kid.
I saw one of your photos on your Facebook page today too, and you were with a comedian. I can't remember her name, but she must have been 6 feet tall.
That's Alicia Bridges. Yes, she was actually the winner of on Thursday night of the Atlanta Drunk High Sober. She was high, and yes, and I think she's 6'2".
Wow,
she was very tall. Yes, and she was our winner. She was so funny. She was hilarious.
What's the story about? What was the story behind meeting her?
She's just one of the comics on the scene. I'm thinking, it's funny because when we saw each other, we realized it had been a really long time since we saw each other. And we couldn't, neither one of us could actually remember how we met. So it just had to be at a show. We all just meet each other at shows. You end up booked on the same show. And so you're backstage and you hang out and meet that way. But we couldn't remember which show we had met at. But yeah, so we just met at a show. And yeah, she's so funny. And tall.
Connecting and how? Oh yeah, I'm only 5'4", so she dwarfed over me too.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, she definitely dwarfed over me, and I think she was wearing heels as well, so she was probably even taller.
Wow, I'm gonna have to. I have her on my Facebook friends list, but I don't think I've really communicated with her, so I'm gonna have to communicate with her a little bit too, and maybe see if I can get her to come on my show in the future as well.
Totally, you should.
Connecting and networking is huge. I know, not just for the media industry, but I'm sure for comedy, for producing, directing, it's not always what you know, it's who you know helps too.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's huge. And it's tricky. That's one of the things that I just have to accept, navigating, having a family, being married with kids. Is a different lifestyle than most of the comics that are pursuing a career in comedy have. It's just not the same. There are some. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but out of my friends group, I'm one of the only ones. And so I feel like that is a little bit of a hindrance because I'm still got kids at the house And once they're gone, it's one thing. I'll have a lot more free time and I won't feel the need to be at the house all the time. My husband would understand. You know what I mean? But with your kids, it's so fleeting. Like you said, the years, where do they go? And if we can go from me graduating high school, like that, to this year, my son is graduating high school. So I want to be able to stay, and enjoy some of that too. And so I feel like I do end up missing out a little bit because I miss opportunities, or I'm not at certain, I can't go to every party I get invited to, which I'm super thrilled that I get invited, but I just physically can't, I can't be everywhere at every, for everything. And I feel like when you're young and single and in your 20s, you kind of can be, and you get a lot more like networking opportunities. And so that's something that I'm coming to terms with. But I also am reminding myself that if you're hilarious, you'll get booked. And it doesn't matter if you can go to all the parties. If you're hilarious, they'll book you. So my goal is just to become hilarious.
We've got a couple of viewers watching. One, his name's Rob Schneider out of Buffalo. He's one of my biggest fans, so he's watching. And I have a female comedian that's from, I believe she's from Arizona, Kelly Howard, that's watching our show as well.
Nice.
So, yes.
Hi.
So, yeah. And if anybody who's watching our show right now has questions or comments from Arma Benoit, please send them in the comment section as well. Arma, I was going to play one of your video clips that you sent me, and it's about 45 seconds. I think it's called Living with the Boys.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll play it right now. Just let me know if you can hear the audio, and I'm going to play it right now.
I can't hear the audio.
No? Okay.
But it's got subtitles, so.
I do have another video of yours from YouTube I can play.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not playing. I can hear the audio.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe your viewers can hear it too, but I don't know. I can't. But it's also got subtitles, so it's got captions, I mean.
Thank you for letting me play that clip. I'm not sure about why the audio didn't work on your part, but I do have one on YouTube that will work. So,
okay.
Thoughts on that video clip that I played anyways?
That's one of my newer jokes, and it's fun making the joke about my roommates being lousy, and then you find out that it's actually just my kids I'm talking about and my husband. So that's been fun. That was actually a couple months ago.
Oh, by the way, the next one is it's from your YouTube channel about old age.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to play that right now, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
It's called Lies About Old Age, which I can relate to.
Yes.
Okay, just 1 second. You should be able to hear the audio on this one. So we're just going to get it ready set up. And this one you should be able to hear. And we're going to play it right now. Thank you so much.
If
anybody tries to convince you that you don't look your age, right? If they ever say, you don't look 53, because they only say shit like that to old people. Nobody ever says, oh my God, you don't look 12. I wouldn't have guessed a day over 8. They don't do that. And the older you get, the more convoluted that shit gets, right? You know, you take your grandma to dinner and the waiter's like, is this your sister? And she's giggling. She's just giggling. She has no idea what the fuck you said. She can't hear. You know you're old if anybody.
Thoughts on that clip as well?
Oh yeah, again, that's my joke where I say, they try to patronize you and say, I wouldn't have guessed a day over 35. And my joke is, this is what a 35-year-old looks like if they've been on meth. Okay. This is not a good look for 35. I'm cute for 55, but I don't look 30, but everyone wants to fall all over themselves to convince you that you don't look your age, because God forbid you look 55, Again, I mean, it's like, I am 55 and this is how I look. So it's okay.
I think if you keep active mind-wise and just keep busy with your life, it's not a big deal. Like back in the 70s and 80s when somebody was 50, oh, they're old, they're decrepit, but it's a lot different now. My mom is going to be 81, and a lot of people are shocked when they're saying she's 81 because my mom just, I don't know, she has the young genes in her too.
Good for you. That's great. Yeah, my grandmother lived to be 102, and she lived alone till the
Amazing.
day she died. So, and she lived alone. So she was unbelievable. And my grandmother on my other side lived to be 98. So I'm not going anywhere. And yeah, my mother's still alive and kicking up a storm.
Arma, how would you describe yourself as a stand-up comedian for those people who have never seen you perform in person yet?
Irreverent, cheeky, and I'd say a little on the naughty side, but it's always, not too obscene, but definitely a little wink wink, especially when I talk about stuff with my husband and marriage and our relationship and things like that. Of course, sex is part of it. So, and there's a lot of humor to be found in a lot of that. So that's what I would say, mostly irreverent and cheeky. And just, I just am doing commentary on my life. That's what I know, and mostly relationships within my life.
On average, how long is one of your performances on stage?
Honestly, 15 minutes, that's usually, I do 30 minutes sometimes, but typically what I get booked for is 15, unless I'm doing a host set, and then that's 10. And then you do time in between all of the comics as well. So you do 10 minutes at the beginning, but then you're going back up in between each of the comics and doing a little riff and, introducing the next comic. So
how do you like producing and hosting a comedy show like you Drunk High Silver? How do you like doing that?
That's a love-hate relationship, Chris. I'm sure it's the same with you. Like some parts of it I love so much because I like being able to, I am a producer. That's what I do in film, and it's what I know how to do. So it's not difficult, but then the hate part is like the marketing and the constant trying to get people out and to come to the shows. And it's just incessant. And then like we just finished all of 3 shows this weekend. And then, you have like about 5 minutes in your brain where you're like, wow, we did it. We sold out all 3 shows and everything was great. And then, you're right back to, okay, we've got to start. Let me get the flyers together for next one. And let's start. Let me call Creative Loafing and let's see if I can get some ads going. And let me cut together a video so I can create an ad. And, it's just, that part never kind of stops, but it's works.
A grind.
It is a grind, but you also know, it's so fun to be able to perform for, 70 people. That's really fun. Honestly, I could have a good time performing for 6 people, and I have done that. We've all done that. If you're a comic, you have definitely performed for a handful of people or less, and or sometimes a room full of other comics, But when you get to perform for 70 people, it's really fun, and the show is fun, and all the comics have a good time, and everybody talks about what a fun show it is. And that's kind of what the sweet spot. So if I can help create that, like if I'm not finding that in the shows that I'm getting booked on, then I can help create that. Then why not, Plus I make more money producing than I do just being in a show. So it makes it worth the time.
And also your adrenaline must kick in when you're on stage as well. There's some days where I do these shows and I'm not 100%. I'm tired. I'm just not having a great day. But soon as the camera comes on, my guests come on, my audience is watching, my adrenaline kicks in and I feel so much better. It's like a form of therapy to me.
Nice. Yeah, it is though, because it's something that you're doing. It's something that you're creating, that you're putting out in the world. And that's cool. It's special. It's not something that you're doing for somebody else.
And you also wear many hats like I do as well, not just this ball caps, but any career you're in. I think it's important to learn as much as you can. It doesn't mean you have to be the best at 10 different things or whatever, but I think it helps you in whatever career you're in that you can learn this and you're diverse in what you're doing.
Yes, you have to be these days, don't you?
I wanted to get your thoughts, Arma. Do you feel AI will shrink the film industry more and also the comedy industry? Have you seen AI been used by some comedians with their writing and their jokes?
Oh yeah, for sure. We can definitely tell like AI writers and yeah, I know people are using that stuff, which is gross, but it's frowned upon. And the real comics aren't really doing that, you know. Um, so for sure, it's already there. I'm waiting for the first AI comic, you know, where they have like the AI actors now and they've got the fake AI models and all of that. So I'm sure they're going to be, you know, AI comic coming out shortly. And the AI is definitely shrinking the film industry. I mean, I know people that are in extras casting, and already that's a corner of the industry that'll be dying out for the most part, other than like a handful of people. Um, yeah, that the industry shrinking in general, just with the politics, without getting into politics, you know, it's created basically an exodus of film studios going overseas. So that's happened in the last 2 or 3 years, where there's been a mass exodus. Like they used to make all the Marvel movies here in Atlanta, and because of government stuff, they ended up packing up and they are in England now. So as depressing as it is, they're filming Captain America in the United Kingdom and not in America with American crew. So, you know, so it's been, that's been challenging. And me as well, like in the film industry, I kind of took a step back while I was raising my kids. And then you come back and say, oh, wow, hey, you know, all the people that would have hired me or recommended me are dead or retired. And so that, you know, I mean, I'm still, like I said, I produced that Buzzballs commercial and I did a Casempta commercial and, you know, I'm still out here working, but it's not like it was where, you know, you were turning down work because there was just so much. So it's like you said, you're inspirational in that respect where you're going to create your own opportunities. You're not going to wait around for, you know, the old way was you wait for the phone to ring and someone to offer you a job. And, you know, now you kind of have to seize it yourself and figure it out. And that's one thing I like about producing comedy shows is that's something I can do myself. I'm not relying on other people for that.
Do you find indie movies are shrinking too, or do you find they're growing?
I think that they're shrinking too, unfortunately. Right now, just with the economy, the way it is here right now, people just don't have that extra money and they don't have the security to say, I'm going to just blow all my credit cards, which is what independent filmmakers used to do, where they would just put it all on their credit cards and, you know, max it all out and just go for broke because now, like, they're actually going for broke. You know what I mean? So I think it is. And I also think like private equity and all of that, once that gets under control, that'll help a lot too, because they basically just scoop up anything. So there isn't even any independent anymore. They get scooped up so quickly, you know, and turned into something different. Whereas when you're independent, you get to actually be independent. So the filmmakers that are actually getting to be independent are rare, because they're usually beholden to whoever's paying for it.
And you're seeing movie theaters, especially here in Canada, shrink, and the radio industry too is shrinking in Canada too. Everything is all going digital and live streaming now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just a matter of changing, you know, it's like being in the horse and buggy industry. When the car came out, you know, you gotta adapt and
Absolutely.
figure out.
Hey, Arma, if you got time for a couple more quick questions before we wrap the show
Sure.
up, I wanted to ask you what is next on your bucket list as a stand-up comedian, producer, director, and do you have any plans to try to perform internationally in 2026, maybe 2027?
I don't have any aspirations to go international this year, but I would love to next year. My brother lives in London, and well, my brother lives in Singapore, but he has a home in London because he was a dean of the College of Social Sciences at London School of Economics, and so he still owns a home there. And every summer he leaves Singapore and goes back to London. So I would love to travel there next year, see my brother, and do some comedy in London. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to line that up. And I think bucket list, that would be it. You know, like to be able to perform internationally would be amazing. I would love that.
What's one fun fact about yourself that your fans might not know about you?
One fun fact. Oh gosh. That I have an armadillo tattoo on my arm, a psychedelic armadillo tattoo, because when I was 19, I went on tour with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Flea from the Red Hot Chili he asked me why my name was Arma, and I said it's a nickname. It's not my birth name. It's a nickname that I've had since I was a child, and it comes from this story about an armadillo. And he said, "Oh, you should get a psychedelic armadillo tattooed on your arm." And so I went, 19 years old, of course. I went the very next day and got it. And it was this lady, and she was like, "What do you mean psychedelic?" She was this little redneck lady in Georgia. She had no idea what I was even talking about. I was like, "Swirls of color, come on." And I got it. I was so excited. So that's why I have a psychedelic armadillo tattoo. And I'm called Arma because of armadillos. But yeah, because of Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Do you have any other nicknames that people call you?
No, mostly just Arma. When I worked my way through college by working at the Waffle House. I worked 9 at night till 7 in the morning, overnight. And I used to work with this older woman, and she always called me Arma Jean. That is not my name. My middle name's not Jean, but she couldn't help herself. Just like calling somebody Billy Joe or something, Yeah. And she called me Arma Jean. But that's the only other one I've ever had.
This is a new segment on my show as we wrap up with all my guests. It's called Ask the Host CDP a Question. CDP are my initials, by the way. Do you have a question for me to put me on the hot seat as we wrap this up?
Okay, yes. So if you have your perfect life, like by next year, what does that look like?
More companies coming aboard as advertisers. The on-air stuff is the easy part. It's the producing, the content creating, the editing video, having to go out to businesses and try to get them to advertise on my show, because this is the new norm now for radio, because the radio industry is diminishing here. So I just want to continue to build up my YouTube audience, all my social media platforms, and to get more companies come aboard. And I've got guests now coming to me to come on my show, which is just amazing. But it's not about me. It's about my guests and their stories. So I just want to continue to build my brand, market myself, and to get more businesses behind me on this show. And I love what I'm doing. This is a passion. And I know some people are like, don't you want to retire when you're 60 or 65? When you're doing something that you love, who cares about when you retire? You want to keep working. And a lot of people that do retire end up dying early in life too. So whether you can retire or not, you need to be active in what you're doing. And for me, I'd like to do this as long as I can, as long as my mind is good and I have my health.
Me too. I'm planning on living to be 105. So I've still got plenty of time left.
Oh, by the way, I do have a show tomorrow. I'm going to plug this. I have 2 comedians on tomorrow. One from Delaware. She is a culinary chef and stand-up comedian. Her name's Alexis Conley. And I have another stand-up comedian that's from Australia. Her name is Kate Gelch, and they're going to be on my show tomorrow night at 5:45 to talk about being stand-up comedians. And also Kat is from Australia. So I'm going to have one guest on from the United States and the other one from the Australia, which is amazing too.
That's cool. Very cool.
And it's a weird time. 5:45 tomorrow night is a little plug there as well.
Nice.
And finally, Arma, where can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and some of your next upcoming live comedy shows for those that are watching or listening in the Atlanta, Georgia area right now?
I am at Arma Benoit on most social media platforms. So at Arma Benoit on Instagram, at Arma Benoit on TikTok. And then the second Sunday and the third Sunday of every month. So the second Sunday of every month at Argosy in Atlanta is Drunk High Sober. And the third Sunday of every month in Athens is Drunk High Sober at the Globe. And I will be performing at David's Listening Room on July 31st. And that'll be a nice long set. And that Dave's Listening Room is a great venue. So I'm really excited about that. And thanks for having me on, Chris. This was really fun.
Any plans to market Drunk High Sober, like in hats and t-shirts and mugs at some point?
Yes, I have just started thinking about some ideas for some t-shirts for sure, especially these days. That's a good, merch is the way to go. We were just
branding and marketing. Branding and marketing.
We need
And
to
I
get
have,
more shirts.
yeah, and I do have a mug, but I don't think you can see it. I have my own mug and branding, and that marketing and branding is huge too nowadays. And
Yes,
if
for
you
sure.
if you do get a T-shirt, please save one for me. I would love to support your work by getting a T-shirt. And I'm going to put you on the spot here as we wrap this up. Any plans for your own podcast at some point?
I keep thinking about it, but the thought of adding anything else to my plate, like I think
It's a
like
lot.
not before I get my kid out of the house. Once my son is in college and settled, I think I'll have a lot more time that I won't even realize how much more time I'm going to have. And then I might, because I have thought about it, but I use YouTube a little bit. I mean, not YouTube, TikTok a little bit as a podcast, kind of share what I'm up to and a little bit of stuff like that. But yeah, I think I would really like to talk to other people as well. So I think that would be fun.
And you have an open invite to come back on my show again. If you want to come back on again and even co-host with me, I would be
Okay.
okay with that too. Yeah, if you want to get a guest from the comedy area and you have them come on the show, you can be my guest co-host as well if you'd like.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Well, Arma, I want to say thank you so much for coming on a second time, and we'll try to get you back on before another year and a half. We'll do it.
Yes,
Maybe,
definitely.
hopefully, maybe by the end of this year, we can have you back on as a co-host, and maybe get some more comedians on from your area as well.
For sure. That sounds fun. I'm
Well,
sure I could wrestle some up. And thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.
time goes fast when you have a good conversation, and it's the guests that make a great show, and I've been very fortunate. But Arma, continued success as a producer, director, filmmaker, and stand-up comedian, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get out to Atlanta and see you perform live. I really would like to support you as a friend too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Maybe one day I'll get lucky enough to come to Canada and perform.
Deal. And give me a little bit of time tonight. I will send you the video link, the audio link, and some reels and clips, and I'll tag you in if you want to post it on your social media pages.
That would be great. I would love that.
All right. All right. Well, Arma, thank you so much for coming on tonight. You're number 737, by the way. So when I think of you now, 737. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you so much, Arma. Good night.
Okay. Bye.
All right. That concludes season 14, episode 22, overall 737 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at barrycullen.com. And I do have another announcement to make here, guys, as we wrap up this show. My next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is going to take place on Tuesday, July 21st at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, with special guests Lex Conley and Kat Gelch. They're both stand-up comedians. One's from the U.S., one's from Australia, and they're also the podcast and co-hosts on TikTok. So I'm looking forward to having Alexis Conley, known as Lex, on for my second time, and Kat Gelch. She's a stand-up comedian from the country of Australia. So this is going to be an interesting story, how these two ladies met, who are stand-up comedians, but 10,000 miles apart. And they're going to talk a little bit about stand-up comedy, a little bit about their podcast show. They work together. And also, Alexis is a culinary chef in Delaware as well. So it's going to be amazing having an American comedian and an Australian comedian on, and comedy and laughter and laughter, comedy, and humor is totally international as well. So I'm really looking forward to having them both on 5:45 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I want to say thank you to everyone watching this show on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram, and to thank you, the audience, for listening to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. And if you're a business and a company and you're looking to advertise, my show is on 22 different platforms, and I have now over 805,000 viewers on YouTube, and I just reached over 27,000 listeners on Spotify. You can email me at cpame19@gmail.com. My prices are reasonable and competitive and fair, and I look forward to working with you and your business and company for your advertising means on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show and my company called CDP Media Productions. So if you're looking to advertise, please contact me or email me on cpalme19@gmail.com or DM me on my social media pages. As we wrap up the show, guys, right now at Barry Cullen Chevrolet, you get a 2020. I get a 25. You get. I speak too fast. I gotta slow down here. At Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership right now, you can get a $25 Esso and Mobile gift card with the purchase of an oil change and an eligible vehicle health check. This offer is available from June 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2026. Book your appointment today at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership. Again, they're located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. And just mentioned Chris Palme talked to you as well. And finally, guys, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the New Hope Animal Rescue Group. They're located at 4990 Jones Baseline Road in Guelph, Ontario. Any appointments, or if you're interested in adopting a cat, you can call them at 519-836-9780. That's 519-836-9780 to book an appointment, or you can visit their website, newhopeanimalrescuegroup.ca. They do a wonderful job getting cats into foster homes or adopted as well. And they do have some cats available at Pet Value right now and at 1005 Paisley Road as well. So consider, if you're looking to adopt a cat, consider the New Hope Animal Rescue Group. Again, check out their website, newhopeanimalrescuegulf.ca, or give them a call at 519-836-9780. And also, guys, I do some volunteer work with a local humane society in Cambridge. If you're looking to adopt a dog, cat, bunny rabbit, or a bird, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the animals and pets that are up for adoption, their information and profile information and pictures are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. Michelle and her staff do a wonderful job looking after our furry homeless friends and ensuring they get adopted into good homes. And at the Cambridge District Humane Society, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it. Finally, guys, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. Make sure you check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. You can also follow me on TikTok at Chris Palme. I am getting close to 2,000 followers on TikTok. So go to TikTok at Chris Palme, and please check out my social media content from Friday night's night market in Paris, Ontario, the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada on Sunday, and the Hamilton Cardinals game as well. I did a number of interviews and some pictures and some videos as well. And I want to give a big shout out to Grace and the folks at the Donkey Sanctuary in Canada. They're located on 4th Concession Road in Puslinch, and they have over 250 acres of land. Please check out my interview with Grace Saint and some of my pictures from the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. Their website is the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada.ca. They do a wonderful job in looking after donkeys, mules, hinnies, and they do a great job. And one thing about these donkeys, they're not stubborn. They have this stereotype of being stubborn. They are not stubborn animals. And also, their hearing, they have larger ears than humans. They can actually hear further than us as well. If you want to learn more about that, just go see Sherry and Grace and the fine folks at the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. They do have public outings there on Sundays. Every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. From now until the end of October. They suggest you book get your tickets through the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada as well, or just Google them as well and tell them Chris Palme sent you as well. They do wonderful work there as well. As we wrap up the show, guys, Livestream is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, live streaming, or podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. Finally, guys, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. The audio version is on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, TuneIn, YouTube Music, Good Pods, and now on YouTube. You can watch the video content of my shows on YouTube, but also you can listen to the audio form on YouTube as well. So please subscribe, like, and share. And finally, guys, you can email me at live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpame19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you like my YouTube channel and my media work, I'm on paypal.com. Go to paypal.com at Chris Pame if you'd like to support my media content through PayPal, or book a personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, on cameo.com/Chris Pame. Finally, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, Threads, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19 on Blue Sky Social, and also my YouTube channel. Go to Chris Pame, Live with CDP Talk Show, subscribe, like, and share. I am now 92 subscribers away from 1,000. So let's get CDP to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Please go to YouTube right now, Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show. Subscribe, like, and share. And please check out all my content from this weekend. And I will be at the Toronto Argonauts CFL practice tomorrow here at the University of Guelph. And I will be doing another player and coach interview as well. And that is about it for a show tonight, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching this show. I want to say thank you to my guest and friend of mine, Arma, Benoit, a stand-up comedian, producer, director, filmmaker out of Atlanta, for coming on here tonight as well. And remember, guys, I am back on here tomorrow night, Tuesday, July 21st, 5 p.m. with two special guests, one from Delaware, one from Australia, Lex Conley and Kat Gouch. And they're going to talk a little comedy, and maybe Kat will talk a little bit about Australia and how she met Lexi. And we'll talk a little bit about their podcast show as well. So again, thank you to Arma, Benoit. Thank you to the audience for watching this show, listening to this show, and also to Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership for advertising on this show. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by Chris Pame and brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. Good night, everybody.